So we're going to be live streaming this event today on our YouTube page also. So, cool background. I love it. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you. Let me unmute you. You got to unmute.
Oh, sorry. I
there
just
you
want
go.
to say, I love the Joker, but let me switch it.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I love his personality, and it's also festive because he's in red.
I know, right? And Christmas just happened days ago. But let me
awesome. Good to have you here. And hi, Gato. Welcome.
Hi.
How are
everyone.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to get it all done. Thank you for helping me with the anthology, and oh my gosh, I was almost done getting the rest of the bios because I wanted to send it back to you before today or before this. So hopefully I'm almost done. Hopefully as we wait for some folks, maybe I can finish popping in the bios. They were just in their emails, instead of the documents, so that's why I think I had missed them. But yay, so excited. I'm expecting a few more folks to join. They said they were going to join, so let's just wait a little, like 5 minutes or so to gather. We're also going to be live streaming this on our YouTube page so that folks can participate in the workshop wherever they're at, and or come back to it if they miss this time. So because it's not too late, we have until I'm accepting submissions up until tomorrow at noon to get that chapbook out for our big party. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I can't believe it. The last day of the year. Incredible. But so good to see you both. And so let's just give like 5 minutes to see we get some more folks to come on in and join us, and we'll get started.
Wait,
I just wanted to know a little bit more about the submissions.
Oh yeah, so Love Letters is three. There's been 3 workshops, so this is the 3rd one. And if you write a love letter to 2020, we're making a chapbook. So we're making a collection of all the contributors, all the folks that wrote a love letter or a poem to 2020 will be included. And so we're gonna have our launch party tomorrow. So it's a real quick turnaround. So whatever you write today, polish it up or be happy, proofread it, make sure you're happy with it, and you email it to us and we'll add it into the chapbook. And tomorrow at 6 p.m. we're going to have our release party with all the contributors live, and the idea is everybody reads their love letter, and also I'm going to send you a digital copy of the chapbook, and so that means y'all get published. and yeah, so we'll have our digital release, and we hope to print some copies to be able to send out to contributors too, so you can have a physical copy too. Yeah, so cool, you changed your background. Are you in Italy now? Oh, so cool. It's like a basilica back there. That's beautiful. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that background. Like I can do the photo, but for some reason not the background. But so I'm gonna pause. Oh yeah, cool. It's on pause. The recording is on pause. All right. So let's take 5, and then I'll be monitoring just to see, to let people in, and we'll start. Whoopsie. Hi, Marina. Welcome. We're just taking 5 to let folks join before we get started. Oh, you're mute. You're on mute. There you go. Hold on. There you go.
Hi, Jessica. I get confused if it starts at 6 or 6:30. Did you dye your hair?
No. I think it's just the shade. The lighting.
Oh,
but
that's great.
this is lighter, but it's been like this for months and months. But yeah, thanks. It starts at 6. But I'm giving folks some more time to join.
Okay. All right.
So we'll give 5 to gather more folks, because I did get some RSVPs from folks.
Oh wow.
So hopefully they make it.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and just leave my speaker on, and I'll just do some stuff around the house.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hooray, more folks have joined. Let's see. Give me one more minute, everyone, and then we'll get started. Thank you so much for being here tonight. All right, let's come back together. Hi. All right, I see everyone's in the chat too. Perfect. So I'll go ahead and get started. And just up front, I want to apologize if there's interruption with the kids screaming or playing, and my other half isn't home, so I'm gonna try to just do my thing, and hopefully they just stay in their room and play and do their thing. And hopefully not pound on the door or try and bug me. But hey, everyone, happy Wednesday. This is Love Letters to 2020. As I said, there they are on cue. Oy, oy. So I'm going to, my God, I hope their dad gets home soon. Oh, God. Hold on a second, let me tell them to they're 2 and 3, so good luck if I can get them to be quiet, but give me 1 second, see if I can get them to calm down. Godspeed, huh? It's like Godspeed. All right, and I'm so sorry about all the interruptions. So I'm gonna do my official start again. I'm letting you know that we are recording it so that it can be archived. This event is also sponsored by Poets and Writers. Have their little shirt on. And we'll also be live streaming this tonight on our YouTube. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started here. And officially welcome everyone to Love Letters to 2020. This is a workshop series designed to release and purge the traumas and accept the changes, embrace the changes and the joys of 2020, and also to build to the future. So I want to again thank you for being here. My name's Jessica. I'm with the Los Angeles Poet Society. I want to thank poets and writers, like my shirt, poets, writers for sponsoring this event, for sponsoring this series, and being supportive of the LA Poet Society workshop events. Big love to Jamie, Fitzgerald, Asagi, and the Poets and Writers family. Thank you again for being here, everyone. Big love. Again, we're live streaming on YouTube. Hey, YouTubers. Thank you for joining us. Please, follow along, and whatever you write tonight, feel free to send it to us. And this goes to all of you, everything that you write today and in the series, because we had 2 other workshops. But anything you write in these workshops will be included in a chapbook that we're publishing called Love Letters to 2020, which will be released tomorrow night at our launch party. Yeah, we move real fast at the LA Poet Society here. And it's been that kind of year. As I told my friend Scotto, I'm like, yeah, things are crazy, but I'm that kind of crazy. I'm like, here's the book. Let's do it tomorrow. Or let's finish it tomorrow. But yeah, that's the idea, and we'll have a digital release of the chapbook, and I just can't wait to hear everybody's stories and everybody's epiphanies of this year. Again, this is designed to help release. The first workshop was focused on the anger, and so this is also filling folks in that it might be their first time joining tonight. But the first workshop was set in the emphasizing the anger of, being angry at 2020, being mad, having regrets, being sad, a lot of that depression from quarantine, of COVID, and the devastation around the country, of the United States, but, the racism that's, been, that the whole spotlight is on it, like there's no hiding from it, So all these things that the year has brought to us, this is the opportunity to release that, to release the traumas, to confront it, to punch it in the nose, right, with your poem, with your love letter. And it is a love letter because, we have, there's a balance in everything, right? There's always 2 sides to everything we do, and in ourselves as well. So the energy we carry, there's always like the duality of, you're either more positive one day or, less positive the other days, but we're made up of both, right? Just like we're made up of masculine and feminine energy, and, and depending how, who we are, how we act, that energy shifts in us as well. So yes, it is a love letter. It's a release. And we're here to help, and we want to be here for you all, to catch you, and just to be that punching bag, or to be that source of inspiration. Our second workshop was focused on embracing the changes. So looking at the positive, right? And that is hard sometimes when we're so angry, right? This year, not only the death, all the devastation of the death around us, and the racism, the injustice, but also being trapped, right? We were forced to spend more time with ourselves, forced to be inside, forced to look inward. And with that time, there has been growth. We have, we adapt. There's been no choice. We kind of just do it naturally. And it's really amazing to see how so many people have been able to find their light, in this year. And it can be, and that light could be very small, maybe, it was a small little string, or a small little light that you were looking at, or a string you were holding onto, or it could be something even bigger. So the embrace the change was looking at those positives of our year, the personal wins, the things that happened around our environment. So like for example, in Los Angeles, the sky cleared because when we were quarantined, everybody had to get off the road. All the freeways, all the gridlock, all that stuff was gone. People were staying at home or working at home. So Mother Nature was happy that we were home. Mother Nature was so happy that we took our dirty cars off the road. You know, the sky was blue. There were more animals coming out. You know, I mean, that is a positive, right? That's something to be acknowledged and celebrated. But there's also the personal wins. Some folks in the class, they shared, you know, they got a new apartment. They had a therapist that was kick butt, you know, so positive and uplifting to them. Some folks said that, hey, I got to meet people from around the world and be a part of an international community. You know, so there's a lot to look at in 2020 and also to appreciate. It might take some time to get there and really be like, yeah, that was good. Like, I didn't want to do it, but I made it work, you know. And that's what we're celebrating. And that is also what leads us to today's topic of the love letters, looking to the future, rebuilding, right? 2021 is around the corner in 2 days, right? In 2 days we'll be in another year. But the circumstances are still, you know, the same, more or less. But that optimism, that hope for the future is what is lifting us up. Like 2021 will be better. We're here and we have a vaccine, you know, and so there's hope, right? We're out, that we can get better, that we can return to a lifestyle that we're happy with, that is more ourselves. Okie dokie. So I think the first thing I want to do, let's see. I want to show you, I kind of did fill you all in, but I want to share a few slides with you just so you can see some of the other things that folks had mentioned, and also some notes on how we can identify things in our life that were inspiring or possibly, you know, painful. So let me bring up my file. Okay, just a minute. I just got to bring that up. But yeah, so today's workshop is really all about hope. It's about the hope and it's about rebuilding. And I want to share some examples that you all shared. Let's see, is this what I'm looking for? I'm going to be screen sharing in a moment. I just want to make sure that I locate the file I need. And I apologize that I didn't have it already set on my computer. Here we go. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay, so I have our positives. So I'm going to share the positives. I'm going to also share our negatives. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, so I have one open and I'm going to get the other. Okay, here we go. Got it. Okay. Sorry about that, but I have the files now. I have what I wanted to show you. So here is our file. These are from the first workshop. So the negative, right? The anger, the punching bag poem, the punching bag love letter, letting it out. Like, dear 2020, you really let me down. Dear 2020, I was supposed to do X, Y, Z this year, and you took that away from me. You know, dear 2020, you've frustrated me so much because ... So this is how you could, you know, how we could look at it, letting out our anger, letting out our depression, letting out our regret. So this is, you know, again, an opportunity to purge our feelings, you know, the fear, anger, regret, but also embracing the positive, embracing the changes, praising and celebrating them, which leads to the feelings of hope for the future, for next year, for how things can be better, how we can adapt even more by using the opportunities that we were given this year, the ones that we enjoyed, the ones that we adapted to and made our own. And I'll give you some examples of that and how we're going to use that for next year, how we're going to launch off of that feeling, launch off of that hope for the future, for our future, for your individual future. Or you can look at the scope of all people, all humanity, however you want to direct your love letter. But it's all about letting it out. So on the screen here, I have here, Dear 2020, Let It Out. So this gives you kind of like, again, the scope of what the workshops were about, right? Workshop 1, the anger, sadness, regret, confronting, letting it and letting go, right? Letting go of the anger, letting go of the rage, or confronting it. Like I've never dealt with it and I want to let it out. I want to go there. So let yourself go there. And the second workshop was, again, the embracing the change, the pivot point. What changed for you? How are you able to adapt? Some folks, a real simple example is we were kept from our usual routines, right? We were quarantined, we were stuck at home. So of course that makes us mad, right? We get upset. All the anger, all the depression, all these things, all our events got canceled, everything, we lost our jobs. Some of us, were worried about our bills, looking at maybe eviction, like all kinds of just catastrophe, a domino effect. So yes, that's all that emotion of anger and, fist raising, like, But then you're alone, you're at home, you're with you're by yourself, or you're with your family. The positives. What can be positive of that? Well, the fact that you do get this time to look inward, to be with yourself, to understand what really matters to you. Or some families were able to spend time with their children and be together, so that was something that was positive. Parents got to know their kids even more, because kids weren't going to school and the parents weren't going to an office, right? Or whatever reason, they were together. So some of those bonds were amplified. So again, now that we have those bonds, now that we've had that time alone with ourselves to reflect, to understand ourselves, to adapt, then we can rebuild for the future. Give me one moment. I'm so sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. So let's see. So I was talking about how we adapt and how we're looking forward. So again, here on the workshop 3, rebuilding from what you have learned. So that's what we're going to focus on today, rebuilding from what you have learned this year. Whether we wanted to or not, we were forced to isolate. We were forced to deal with ourselves, to deal with our feelings, and also forced inside with our families, right? So positive and negative. Sometimes it's a pain to be with your family, and sometimes you're like, wow, I really got to spend time with you. I never really get to see you. I'm always so busy, and we're moving, from point A to B to C to D, all the time. We're always so busy, and that is, I believe that's the culture of the United States, to always be so completely like booked for your whole day, giving yourself like small amounts of breathing room, right? So I think because of this pandemic, it definitely has changed the culture individually, where we realize whether this time alone works for us or not. For example, hobbies. hobbies and interests have emerged, or hobbies and interests finally got our time. Like I was telling the last class, I like to make jewelry, and I was like, oh, I can have some time now to like do that, do my craft, crafting time, or garden, or things that normally would be on the back burner of, hey, when I have some free time, it's nice to do that, but now we do. And I was also saying that last time, that new hobbies have emerged, and new experts have emerged, right, out of us. Maybe we're that good at jewelry making, or that good at gardening, or I think Marina was saying that she took up cooking, and really got into it. And so some folks, they go on YouTube and they have a channel or an Instagram, and you know what I mean, they become teachers and experts, and just folks that want to share what they're passionate about. So that's definitely a positive, right? That's definitely something that we can build on to the future. Using that example of cooking, we can perhaps next year, like you have a really fat YouTube channel, and the more viewers you get, you monetize, like these are, that's one example, but you know what I mean, that we can, rebuild and adapt and shape a better future for ourselves. Rebuilding with how we survive this year. Okay, so that's that slide there. And so hopefully you can see this one. Oh yeah, here we go. So these are the notes that we took from last time, by the way. So this was worked from workshop 2, embracing the change. So we started taking a list from folks in class of, some of their positives, some of the wins. Like I said, they could be big, they could be small, or big, small. These kids are distracting me. This Juan would come home already. Yeah, no matter how big or small, we have to appreciate the positives. I know for some of us, I mean, for me, like that shed of light could be everything. And just to get you to the next day. It's not even about, oh, next month, I'll feel better and I'm going to do A, B, and C. Honestly, this year has been so just such a roller coaster, just torquing us every direction. Like it's moment to moment, really. Our positives, or our balance of just being able to move forward, it's moment to moment. Sometimes it's not even hour to hour or day to day. Some folks, it's like, how am I going to pay this bill right now? Am I going to get this manager or this landlord to say, yes, I will honor the moratorium of, where I won't evict anybody, all these different things that make us panic. It's these small wins, or these small personal positives that can be everything. So looking at the positives that our class had come up with last time, that people were able to finally do their hobbies or get to their to-do list. So some of those things, have brought a lot of solace to folks. People are with their families more, they're connecting more. Folks are talking on the phone more. I remember in the beginning, we were, the old phone call. I don't personally talk on the phone much, but it's like, oh, my phone's ringing. People were wanting to connect any way they can. So that was something that changed, and something positive, right? To have someone that cares about you, or someone that you care about, and you get, talk to them on the phone, have more, video chats with them, or FaceTime, or whatever. So those are things to think about. And an example of how we can build on to that for our future is, be in touch more often, making a ritual of those new habits. I think that is so important, to just to be able to acknowledge the positive in your life, and plan out to have these calls. There, Mama. Hi, thanks. Oh, he gave me a paper. All right, thank you. Okay. God, I'm gonna lose my mind. Sorry, it's driving me crazy. Okay, so I want to stay with you. I'm trying my best to hold on here. I'm trying to remember where I was. Oh God, kids! Oh, hooray! Oh my God. You know what I was saying? You get to spend more time with your family. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, I see you every second. But you gotta love them, right? You gotta love them. Oy, oy. All right, so let's get back to y'all. I don't get out of my life here. So so again, focusing on building to the future. I was talking about creating rituals. So like, if you discover that you really enjoy talking more on the phone or seeing, a person you love on a video chat, and that helps, helps you feel good and get to that next step, make that ritual. Every Wednesday, you're calling your aunt. Every Tuesday, you're calling your best friend. You're calling, that's so important because it also gives us something to look forward to. And in these times, since there's so much that we cannot control, that is like everything, just to have these rituals to, like I'm going to be at this workshop at this time, every Tuesday, or I'm going to be catching the sunshine every day at 1 p.m. for a meditation, or just to enjoy the rays of the sun. Those are the things that get us through. Those are the things to be honored and to carry on into that next year, into the future, because it's our wellness, right? That's what is helping us to endure these times. So let me stop sharing here.
Yummy snowman.
Oh my God.
Yummy snowman.
All right. Yeah, I'm about to lose it. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to just stay composed and all right. So let's take a look again. So this is our the notes for today. So we can see my whiteboard. Yeah. Okay. So very important ritual or practice, whatever word you like better. So these are the tools that have helped help you get through the days, weeks, months. So I'm going to open this up to everybody because I've been yapping a lot. I want to hear from you. So, okay. Oh, let me put a header here. So this is a workshop 3. And let me also make sure this is still recording. So I had to stop recording when I was getting mad. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. All right, workshop 3, building the future, I guess, right? So what's really important are our personal rituals, practices. And these are the tools that get us through the days, the weeks, the months during this quarantine, during 2020. Okay. So some examples of this. I'll give one, and then I'm going to ask you to give me some of your examples or some of your rituals and practices. So for me, I talk about this so much, but I mean, getting out in the sunlight. And this was important for me before quarantine, honestly. It's like if I didn't get some sun, if I wasn't outside, if I didn't see the light of day, I would feel so depressed and so sad and just miserable, like I missed out on that day. Like really, I could be productive inside, but if I didn't step outside to see the sunshine and feel it on my skin and my face and to breathe, like take deep breaths, like I feel like I just missed the day. Like, where was I? I was under a rock or something, you know? So that's everything to me. Getting out in the sunlight and taking deep breaths. That is something that gets me through the day, but really gets me through the hours. You know, that's everything for me. What about y'all? Let me open it up to you. I would love to hear what y'all have to say. You can unmute.
Yeah, so I like that you brought up rituals, because I feel like that's actually been a big part of what 2020 has been for me, is like sort of like establishing my own rituals ever since, because well, I mean, it kind of even started before I lost my job due to the pandemic. But it was just, I don't know, like so I started a morning ritual just because I've always heard that like morning rituals are like, you know, the thing to do and they set your day off right. But I've just never really like, I guess, yeah, I never taken the time to actually do it. And so like now every morning, like I wake up and I meditate for like 20, 30 minutes. I stretch and do yoga. And then I read for like 20 minutes and then I write. And so I've been doing that. Like I write a page, like in my notebook every day. So, and I've been doing that for like the last, like, I don't know. I think I started this like in May or something. And yeah, it's just been really grounding to be, to kind of wake up and do that in the mornings. And so, yeah. And, you know, I don't know, sometimes like, especially like if you have like anxiety or depression, like sometimes just getting up in the morning can be hard, but now I'm just like, okay, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do this. And so then I actually like get myself out of bed. And then once I get myself out of bed, it kind of like, it's just easier to keep the day rolling. So yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Gato. Yeah, I was like, getting out of bed. That's awesome. Get out of bed, because a lot of times that can just keep the depression, keep you feeling down. And actually, I'm going to piggyback on that too about getting out of bed. And I'm going to go back to the other things you had mentioned, but just getting out of bed is everything to kind of move forward. But to also change your clothes, I feel that's so important. You know, I know, you know, it's very cool to be loungy. I mean, I've been lounging too. I got some of my funky pants on. You probably can see my crazy patterns. But I find that when I change my clothes or dress up or put on the lipstick, I feel better. Like I feel like something changed. I mean, really, like literally something did change. And mentally that helped me feel different, that helped me feel cleaner, that helped me feel I don't know, I guess attractive to myself, you know, like it was everything. So I think it is important to get out of bed. And I know in these times we literally could probably do everything in bed, right? Eat, watch TV, read, you know, write, all that, work. But if you're not changing your environment at all, it does have it kind of keeps you like mentally like static, or like just like, you know, you need a little bit of change, a little thing to shift for there to be a reaction. Remember one of those what is it, one of the Newton laws, like for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if we're not changing a thing and just staying in bed in our same clothes we wore like a couple of days ago, and you know, we're not getting a different reaction from ourselves or our psyche, right? So it is important to change something, even if it's just, you know, changing a t-shirt or some pants or something. Let's see, I think we saw something in the chat. I love that you said that you consciously created your morning rituals. That is awesome. That's a lot of self-awareness, I feel, to be able to do that. And then you have lots of great examples. Meditate, yoga, stretch. Do you do those all in the same sitting? Is that like your whole 30 minutes, or do you shift it? Like, you know, today I'm doing yoga for 30, tomorrow I'm going to do my stretching and meditation, or is it all like together?
Oh, no, I do both. So it's like, so yes, I do like my meditation for like 20 to 30 minutes. And then I do like another, like probably like it takes me probably like 30 minutes to do my stretching. So it's like, yeah, it's like an hour. My whole morning routine probably takes like a good like 2 to almost like 3 hours sometimes.
Good.
So if I ever have anything to do in the mornings, I have to like wake up at like 5 or 6 because like otherwise I can't like get everything done. But yeah, it's nice to have that like ritual in the morning.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I love that you said if you have other things, like if someone's like, hey, do this or give you an assignment or whatever, like you're gonna still do your ritual first and just shift it, you know, to even get up earlier to like meet these other timelines. And that is incredible. And that's so dedicated because if you think about it, when you're going to work and, you know, I'm going to work or we're going to that commute, that's a ritual too, that we're like, oh, fed up with, you know, I gotta be in traffic or it's cold, I'm tired, you know, we don't get a say in it so much. We're yanked to do these things, right? I mean, yeah, we're trying to get cash to pay things, you know, but still, those are rituals that were kind of put on us, the whole work life, the work rotation and everything. And I think it's amazing that you're treating like your ritual is so solid where it is everything. You're like, no, that's first, you're later, all the time, you know. And I think that is a great show of strength. And also that is definitely gonna get you through these times, sis. Like that is totally like being that dedicated and having that solid ritual, that definitely is everything to kind of propel you to the next step. Also gives you something to look forward to. When we have rituals, we're having something that we are looking forward to, that we are planning, right? And in these times, like not having control is probably like the worst thing that we're all feeling like, what do you mean I can't do this? And I can't go there. I can't see you. I can't hug you. I can't eat there. You know, whatever it is that's bugging the most. We don't have control. It's annoying. We're so used to like, yeah, we're busy, but we have control over what we do or choose to do with our time, like more or less, right? So I think having that ritual exercises our control, and definitely it's a great way to get through these times. That would be a great something great to write about for the love letter for building the future. Like, are you keeping these rituals? Are you going to alter them for next year, or how has that because these are also seeds that you planted, and this is to all of you, these are seeds, your own personal rituals, your routines, these are your own seeds that you planted, and they're going to continue to grow, and it's up to you if you want to keep them in your life moving forward, or how they're going to shift or even grow even more. So that's what we want to look at today, right? Rebuilding our future, taking back control, embracing the changes that have happened this year, and acknowledging them, and embracing the positive, and giving ourselves the time to be able to identify and see those positive things that have happened. Like I said, no matter how big or small, the fact that there is positive is everything. It's, and I know I keep saying that it's everything. It's just that so much has been taken away from us. It's hard to find like those nuggets that are like, I can stand on this pillar finally, where we can stand straight and feel proud and feel accomplished or feel joy, So that's why it is everything. You need to hold on to the joy. You need to hold on to that feeling of being proud of what you've done, or contentment in what you're doing, right? Because it is going to keep you healthy, right? Self-care, mindfulness, it's going to keep you healthy and keep you moving forward, keep you alive to see the next day, alive to get through the year, to get through the months, to see life out of quarantine, out of COVID-19, onto the next, the next phase of what you want to do. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, it's everything, because it really is. And every, and the things that are fundamental to us, to keep us sane, to keep us happy, to give us some joy, something to hold on to, like, you don't want to let that go. You want to acknowledge it, and you want to continue to nurture that, I think that's so important. So let me go to the chat. I think there was a lot of stuff in the chat I hadn't got to type up yet. Let's see, where's my chat? Here we go. Okay, yay! Okay, here we go. Let me add these in here. Oh wow, lots of folks. Y'all are funny. I love you, Scotty, talking about the Leo energy. He was like, the screaming kids, I gotta love them. Oh yeah. So, oh, cool. So y'all were talking about your favorite poets. Awesome. I'm looking at them, catching up on the chat. Y'all been chatting. I love it. Yeah, June Jordan. I know I see her quote on your on your email, Scotto. Her quote about, what is it, the rage, I think, or something like that. So y'all mentioned that you like Oscar Wilde, June Jordan. Okay, so here's some of the rituals. So Scotty says that he makes himself go somewhere, like go to the park or go for a long walk. Oh, I love that. That's something I really enjoyed too, was taking a walk, or while working on my fitness, which included walking or jogging and stuff like that. So going for a long walk. I know we have all the time in the world, right? It's like, what meeting are we gonna miss? I mean, there's some things that we obviously coordinate, but yeah, we have time. That walk is gonna be healing. Get that fresh air, look at the blue sky, like take in nature. And FYI, nature is so healing because we are nature. We are of nature. We're tierra. We're dirt too. We're nature. Stardust and dirt, right? Yeah, so it is totally healing to go plant your feet into the dirt, plant your feet in the sand, put your feet in the water. Like, all those elements are healing because we are nature. So yeah, going for a long walk is amazing. And I like that you said you make yourself go somewhere. Sometimes we just need that reason to get out of the house, right? Like a destination, like, well, it used to be work, or used to be going to this event or that event, but well, I'm gonna make myself walk over here to this corner store to get some dental floss. Why not? Just something to do, right? But also it takes up your time, but you never know what's gonna happen when you step outside. So I think that's interesting that make yourself go outside, to go somewhere. Make yourself go outside / go somewhere. Let's see, what else do we say? Okay, so you guys saw that. And accomplish one task. Like, what kind of task, Scotty? Like, or just like anything, like taking out the trash, checking the mailbox, things like that. But
well, like I had to go to the doctor, and that was something that I agreed with the therapist about, and it was something that I finally made happen yesterday, and I was nervous about it, and it actually wasn't as bad as I thought, and I'm probably gonna need to have glasses and some other things, and it was just I'm glad that I did it, but it was it was a thing on my to-do list that I needed to do, and I just had been putting off, and my doctor was even like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's time for your yearly appointment too. Next one's got to be in person, please. And I was like, oh, that's right. And it was just nice again to have that, I don't even want to say the word accountability because I don't like that, but that sort of semblance of, like you said, it would be so easy right now to not engage. And so I'm trying to what can I do? Even if it's something small, tomorrow is laundry.
yeah.
Today was going to be laundry, but I realized that I don't want to do that today because I have prescriptions to pick up. But that was today. Today was prescriptions and choir and this.
Yeah.
And getting my love poem to 2020 because I kept trying. I wanted to write an angry poem and I couldn't write an angry poem. I was I'm feeling too much love for 2020. This has actually been a really positive year for me despite all the loss. And so anyway.
Wow, I love that. I'm gonna write that. A positive year. That is so
adversity
important.
causes us to grow, right? We don't grow when everything's comfortable. We grow when things are rough. And this year has been rough. It's been tough. It's been isolating. It's been even in the Urban Voices project right before this, one of the facilitators or like folks that was helping lead it, she like started crying right before she did her song, and she was just talking about it, like what it feels like to like lack the human connection and the touch and all of the things that we're all so used to that we don't have right now and we're deprived of. And for me, I've always felt isolated and different. So for me, this is just like, it's like getting comfortable with myself in a whole new way, because it's like, oh, that's right, I had me all along, and it's still just me, right? And it's going to be me, and I'm going to be okay, and I can get support, but it's still just me, if that makes sense. And I'm going to be okay. And if I'm not okay, like, life happens and life changes, and that's a cycle of it too. And I can embrace it or I can fight it. And I need to start embracing that, like,
there you go, beautiful
growth and that death and that life, and that whole, it's cyclical. Time is not, it's not monolithic. It's cyclical, and I need to embrace that. So yeah, 2020 is amazing. I love it.
Oh my God, I love that you use this word cyclical. Yeah, it's all about the cycles, right? The whole planet, the whole universe is always a cycle. It's a cycle. And just like our seasons here and our growth as, infants, children, adolescents, and, adults, seniors, all that, like there's a time for everything. And
full moon in Cancer tonight as well.
Yeah, the full moon in Cancer. That's right.
So that's a whole other thing.
I mean, super it's just emotional
time. There's so many things happening right now, and I find that just really like interesting. Yeah. So anyway, that's just my thoughts as well as
I love it.
Final night. What time is the thing tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, it'll be tomorrow. So the New Year's Eve party will be tomorrow at 6, same time, 6 o'clock.
Same time. And is it the same link?
Yeah, it'll be the same link. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool, awesome. I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. We put on our party hats, and I know it's not gonna be midnight, but I'm not gonna keep the youth up until midnight. That's up to their parents. Yeah, I gotta be responsible. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And we picked New Year's Eve because it's like normally New Year's Eve is a time most folks go out or have a party or something festive, right? The New Year's happening, and so I was like, well, let's have this launch party on New Year's Eve. What the heck? Let's call everybody together and have a online party. I mean, what else are we gonna do? I mean, yeah, folks adapt and y'all do something different, but I'm giving you a pre-party if you're doing something else that night, like later in the night. But yeah, I find also that creative community has been so inspiring, and that's all of y'all, that you have been such an anchor for me, Jessica, and the LA Poet Society. But I mean, it's really Jessica. Like you've been such an anchor to me to looking forward to serving you, really, to have these workshops, to have open mic time, to have conversations, because otherwise I'm just talking to my kids. Yay. But this is my social life. This is my intellectual life. This is my everything. I'll just use that word again. It's everything to me. Yeah. So we bring each other up in the darkest times, and a lot of times not having control has forced us to find ourselves, like you're saying, Scotty, like getting comfortable with yourself in a new way. I like how you said that. I quoted you. But yeah, that's so accurate. We've had this time forced to be alone. Like looking inward isn't a bad thing. Most of the time we're so busy, we don't get a chance to think of ourselves. We don't get a chance to like have those meditation times or breathing times or go out into the daylight and just like, let yourself just do that, right? So though it was painful, and there's lots of a lot of pain associated with 2020, there's been a lot of rebirth from it as well, and that is something that we need to hold on to, because that's how we're gonna adapt, but how we're gonna get by, and how we are going to heal. So I think it's so important. I also saw that someone wrote here in the chat that they take a shower every day. So that's kind of like this, that goes kind of hand in hand with, hey, change your clothes or brush your hair, or like do something, right? A routine, like taking a shower every day. Usually we take a shower. I mean, well, a lot of folks might take a shower if they have somewhere to go, like a work or school or whatever. It's like to get out of the house. So like, I got to be presentable and I got to fix myself up. So holding on to that routine, can help. That definitely helps you keep a positive state of mind. Being clean and changing your clothes and brushing your hair, doing all those types of things. Let's see here. Oh, someone else's ritual. So Natalia says that she FaceTimes her friend every day. I love it. That is awesome. Yeah, we've definitely got more time to connect with our friends, like, and FaceTiming, you see them, so it kind of feels like you're there and you're just doing like whatever, right? Like, it's like usually we would want to talk to someone when like something big is happening in our lives or something different or unique, and now it's like, yeah, I'm just washing dishes, hey, and I think that's awesome that we get to spend more time with our friends. So FaceTime my friend every day. I think that's wonderful. It's definitely bringing you closer. Your friendships, are getting closer and tighter because of that. Let's see. Marina says she had to simplify her life. Like, can you give me an example of what you did or how?
Sure, Jessica. I've always been used to like always multitasking, always over scheduling my life. And they're all with good things, like being the parent for Cub Scouts, volunteering, working, taking extra workshops, but it just got to be so overwhelming. So I just learned to say no to any additional tasks. And I think that's why my cooking improved, because I would just say like, today I'm just going to cook a good meal. And that's what I did. I learned to just simplify. And also cooking was something that would cause me stress, because I would try to cook something at the end of the day when I was already super exhausted. But now I had to change my routine, where the first thing that I do is I actually cook dinner. And then the rest of the day, I'm stress-free, because I know that my family's going to have food to eat. And I've already accomplished, like, they're healthy, there's food, and it's just reduced my stress considerably. Those two things, just saying no to new things and cooking in the morning, changing my routine.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that makes so much sense. I'm like you. I run myself into the ground, where it's like not until about 12:30 I finally can like, oh, I can watch a TV show. Oh, I'm tired though. Or when you're like, oh, now I could probably read or write. Oh, but I'm so tired. Like, I feel that too, and I think that's so important that you recognize, like, wow, yeah, you're living moment to moment and you're so busy and you're doing a lot of things, accomplishing a lot of things, but over scheduling, right? We're always so busy. It's like that balance is off. That self-care, taking care of Marina, taking care of Gato, Jessica, like, we miss out. And now we have more time for us, more time for the individual person. Still, we're there with our families and you can spend time with them and include them and do more. But yeah, we have more us time, more me time. And, a lot of folks, like, we're too busy to have me time, or we feel like, oh, that's a waste of time. I should be productive and do this. Though having your own time is not a waste of time. Like, we always put it at the end of everything else that we're trying to do for others, that we're always on the tail end. And I totally understand. Yeah, like the cooking would be like, you'd be too tired, by everything. But you're like, oh, I still have to feed you. You're like, oh my God, So I think that's amazing that now cooking is your ritual. And the love is in it, and you're feeling love from it, because that it's going to feed your family. So that's a cycle right there, right? Just that zone out, cook to kind of heal and keep you on a routine, but also know that that's going to give that love that you're putting in the food to your family and nurture them and nourish them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a great love letter too, right there. I love it. And Scotty, you could write a love letter to the shower. Or to your therapist, maybe. No, I don't know.
I totally did though. I was in the shower and I was like, what is my block to this angry poem to 2020? Why am I having such a block? And I was in the shower and I was just like, dear 2020, and everything that came out of my mouth was like about loving and loving the adversity and realizing that I wouldn't be so imaginative if I didn't grow up in such an isolated, weird, queer little childhood. Like I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for the adversity. So what is this year gonna what's gonna happen because of this? I'm so excited about the creativity that's just been born and is going to continue to be born from the isolation, even as hard as it's been. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Great word choices. I love your word choices. I'm like, yes, being born out of quarantine, being born out of the COVID-19 times. Like a lot of people are like, love in the time of COVID, right? Like the love in time of cholera, like in the time of COVID. But we're making lemonade out of those lemons, those COVID lemons that no one wants to touch. Those quarantine lemons over there. We're like, but we're finding ourselves, we're finding our joys, we're finding our peace. That's really what it is, right? That way we don't want to lose ourselves, right? We're trying not to lose ourselves. We're trying to stay here. We're trying to stay present, to live for tomorrow, to continue for tomorrow, for our future. So think about that. This workshop is all about that, the future. So think about your rituals. Think about the things that you've taken solace in, and none of these are things to just be like, I did it because I had nothing else to do. It's not. These are the things that get you through. This is, like I said, this is everything. Like the depression is real. Like even if you're the happiest person, usually you still like quarantine happened, COVID, all the deaths around the nation and the world, and the stupidity that we have in this, the government we live under here, all that, and and then all the racism and the attacks on Black people and brown people and gay people, women, indigenous, all of that has broken our heart so much this year. It's because it's been amplified because we are at home. So we are seeing everything, right? And we still have our technology, so everything's captured in real time. And that's why we're able to engage with what's happening around us and really I feel also understand and feel more connected to the world. Like the global citizen in us, which we are and we always have been, has really come to life. Like, oh yeah, like over there, in Ireland, over there in New Zealand, over there in Africa, over there in China, like they're also fighting COVID. My fellow human, my brother and sister over there is going through the same struggle I'm going through over here. It looks different here and there, but it's the same thing, and now that we're home and we're online all the time, that's also really connected us globally, because that's our outlet to communication and to seeing each other and all that stuff. So the global citizens in us are like, hi. So it's like, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that flag next year? Your global citizen flag. Woo-hoo! Are you going to be like, I'm only going to talk to people in LA. I'm going to, or are you going to embrace it and continue to thrive in it? Are you going to do more with that? Right? Are you going to do more with your love of cooking? Are you going to do more with your meditation? The walking, like, are you going to do more with that? And like all these practices shape the future. Like, for example, Marina, you could have an amazing YouTube channel. I'm serious. Or be one of those foodies and you're taking pictures of it all the time. And like everybody loves you on TikTok and like, hey, you're making money off of it. Or
that would be wonderful.
I know that's totally could happen. That totally could happen. Like maybe your specialty is like Italian or Persian or, so, or take up a new style of cooking too, and just kind of like, test yourself or challenge yourself. That that those are new things. Like that's building the future. Or like Garo, like you're doing all this meditation and mindfulness. Like maybe next year you're gonna rise up as a leader in that, and provide a space for folks to do those type of practices. Or Scotty, maybe like you're gonna shift and your body's gonna transform to like some Hercules thing happening. I don't know, right? I'm being very general, but I'm just trying to show you how now rebuilds and shapes our future, right? How are we gonna shape it? Dear 2020, thank you for making me into the Iron Chef and bringing me peace every time I'm cooking. Thank you for showing me the importance of my meditative rituals, dear 2020. Yeah, thank you for blessing me and offering me this opportunity. Like, I know everyone's so mad at 2020, but because of those changes, our shifts have happened. And then I saw Imogen. I didn't forget about you, love. Imogen had mentioned that she's been to more open mic events. That's something that's been her ritual, attending open mics. And actually, yeah, I have had a chance to talk to Imogen. I think she goes to international events. So like, she could be she'll stay up, right? Or tell us what you do. I'll let you tell us about your open mic experiences.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, I don't. I definitely go to international events. I value my sleep too much to go to the ones where that requires me to stay up, even though I stay up anyway. This is something that I need to work on, this lack of sleep thing. But other than that, when time allows, I definitely go to a number of different open mics in Europe, in the Middle East, in Africa. There are plenty that are out there. And I've gone to workshops in India. So there are lots of different options. And it's really nice to see the love of poetry across all kinds of different cultures. So I've really enjoyed that, and there are people that I've met that I feel closer to than other folks in the past that I am no longer friends with. So it's really been a nice growth experience in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to different open mics is how I found you guys. So I really appreciate that experience.
Yeah, I'm so happy you found us too. And I think it's exciting, having this connectivity on a global scale, and really engage with each other, but not just like once, but to see each other often, right? Like, I'll be there next week, or I'll be there next month at this event, or reasons to come back and get together. I think that's been very positive in building new relationships and friendships, like you mentioned, but also in just giving us something to look forward to, right? The rituals are things, they're practices, and these practices give us something to look forward to. And when you have something to look forward to, you're not, I mean, because you have something to look forward to, that automatically removes you from depression. That's kind of like your get out of depression card. I know it sounds like kind of like a general or what have you, but really having a goal, having a ritual, having a practice is motivating, and it gives you something to look forward to, which kind of forces you to move, right? It forces you to shift. It forces you to do something, and that it's something that you've practiced yourself, that you've put, it's something that you scheduled for yourself, makes it even more important. Let me write that down too. So so it's even more important when you schedule it for yourself. Let's see. Oh boy. Let's see. Yeah, and And yeah, it's important when you schedule it for yourself, and you're not going to let yourself down. I mean, this is something that you want to happen, so it will happen. And so with these happenings, and like Natalia, like talking about, you know, how she talks to her friend every day on FaceTime, like I love that. I love that. I honestly, I still get a little nervous, believe it or not, but I get a little nervous to talk on the phone. But I think it would bring my friendship, like with one of my best friends, even closer if I were to really connect with her every day and like see her face. Seeing each other's face, you know, it's even more impactful, right? Than just hearing someone's voice, even though that does also feel good. But when you see them moving in front of you and talking and reacting to you, you don't feel alone. You don't feel alone. You feel like you're, you know, it feels like old times, like you're just chatting and you're just hanging out. So again, that's something that gets you by. That's something that will help you just continue moving forward. So how are you going to use these rituals to keep moving forward? How are you going to put these practices into a bigger practice for 2021? You know, are you going to shift these? Are you going to add on to any of these, you know? Or are there other things that you're thinking about that you're like, hey, this is something that I've been practicing, that I've been doing every day, that I like, and I want to do more of it. Like for me, it's, you know, I garden. I love plants. I talk to my plants all the time. They're my babies. I have succulents. I have a lemon tree. I have this amazing tree I've had since 2010. I got in Chinatown. It was this big, and she is like almost as tall as me now. And I got to see my baby tree grow. And I talk to her, and I kiss her little leaves when the new baby leaf comes out. And like, yeah, that's therapeutic for me. And that is something that is my practice that I really enjoy, that I want to continue, you know. And I want to expand it. So for me, building on to the future, you know, I want to expand my garden. I'm trying to grow tomatoes. I mean, they're growing, but I haven't seen a tomato yet. It's just a big plant. But yeah. But I need to learn more. Like, I'm not a professional. I wasn't taught this by my parents or any, you know, relatives or anything. It's just something that I connect with. I've always loved nature, and I'm like, well, I want my plant family, you know. So that's something that I want to do more and grow into more next year. That's a good way to put it. How do you want to grow into this for next year? Like, how will you, let me see if I can rephrase it. How will you grow? There we go. How will you grow these practices for 2021? There we go. How will you grow them? Building in the future, right? That's what we're talking about. So how will these practices, the ones you mentioned, or some others that you know, others that you might want to write about, how will these grow next year for you? So think about that. And when you write your love letter to 2020 tonight, about your future, about tomorrow, how are these rituals gonna grow for you? How are they gonna take shape? How are they gonna expand? Are they gonna stop? You know? And are you gonna stop these when, hey, quarantine's over, go back to the grind? Are they gonna stop for you? That's something to ask yourself. Actually, that's a really, yeah, I'm gonna put this in another color. That's a good question. Are these practices, are these rituals that got you through like the most painful times, are these going to stop for you once things go to quote normal? I think that's a really important question to ask ourselves, you know, because honestly, these practices, they are getting us through these days and these COVID times, but aren't these really the things that matter to us? To the Marina, to the Natalia, to the Scotty, to the Jessica, to the Imogen, to the Caro, like to you out there on YouTube, aren't these the things that really matter to you? I mean, you're doing them, practicing them all the time. they're motivating you, they're moving you from, day to day, and it's your survival is depending on these practices. When things go back to a normal, quote unquote normal, like, are you gonna continue to hold on to these practices, or are you gonna drop them? Because honestly, and that's the question to you. And for me, I guess my answer to that, or my opinion to that question is, if it's something that means so much to me now, why do I want to stop it if things go back to that quote unquote normal? Because that normal wasn't exactly healthy. The balance wasn't there. Most of the time, that work-life balance was like 90% work and 10% life. 90% work and 10% family, or 90% work, 95% work, let's say 3% family and 2% individual me. So is that something that you want to let go of and just be like run in the ground, you know what I mean, through the grind? So think about that. Because right now, this is your gold. This is your saving grace. These practices, these rituals are your saving grace right now, in the time when times are so uncertain and painful. And are you going to continue, or how will you grow these practices for 2021, right? Are they going to take a new face? Are they going to shape and expand and reach out into bigger ways for you? Or and something to think about, are they going to retract when your life goes back to normal, whatever that looks like for you? Is it something you want to take away? Probably not. I think the bonds that we've been making during quarantine, because we've never in our lifetime been through something like this, and our parents haven't been through anything like this. So this is a crazy experiment that we're living through, that is called our life 2020. And we have survived. We are surviving. So it's like, do you really want to throw away the rituals that you created to help yourself survive a pandemic? So let's see. So I leave you with, let's see, let me check the chat. Anything else? I think that's a good point to break and just write. So I'll leave this up. Well, before we do that though, is there anything, any comments or other rituals that you want to share, practices, thoughts, before we get into our writing time? And hi, Juan's here. Hi, Juan. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I'm sorry I came in all late. A ritual that I developed, since we're talking about rituals, and it wasn't like a super healthy ritual, but it was a ritual nonetheless. It was, you used to say something like, when the moon is out, it's time to drink wine, or something like that. So I was like, it's nighttime, let's go get a bottle. But in a responsible way, of course, because we have kids who can't just get all drunk and stuff, unfortunately. But I meant, yeah, like but I know that sounds not super healthy, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm an alcoholic, because I'm not. But like that helped, and and I wasn't like into alcohol a lot. So, and I'm not still, and I'm not in denial also. I'm just saying, putting my foot in my own mouth. It is a ritual that I developed, and I don't know, I developed also a better palate for wine. Because I guess the next step is a wine connoisseur or something.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of folks do it. Oh gosh, am I saying it right? Palette. That's like the painter's palette? Is it the same way? Oh no, I'm on the spot. I'm changing this. A taste for wine. I can spell, I promise. But yeah, so the ritual, have a glass of wine, have a drink, let yourself breathe and relax. And I mean, I do know Juan's life, and I know that personally speaking, like I said, we're quarantined, everyone's quarantined with their families, and once the kids are asleep and it's been a mad day, like that glass could be like everything, right? So I get it. I understand. And it doesn't mean you're an alcoholic or anything like that, or advocating go get bottles of wine, everybody. But that's what helped you. That's what helped you get through. So it's totally a valid new practice. Let's see, what else? Any other comments or anything else anyone wants to share in what regards to what we've been discussing? Yeah, moderation. Talking about moderation. Yeah, and I can testify. Juan isn't like a boozer or anything, trying to getting all crunk. You know what I'm saying? So it really is just like a relaxing glass. But
I'm a chatty drunk. When I get drunk, which I don't usually get drunk, I talk a lot, like a lot. Unlike most of my family that get like super violent and aggressive and start punching everyone. I'm like one of the peaceful people. Yeah.
The peaceful person. Good. Yes. Hey, like I said, these are tools that help cope with what's happening with the trauma, right? So definitely I understand. Oh, right. So I think we have enough to launch us off. Again, I want to thank Poets and Writers for being a sponsor for this workshop series. And, we're also, like I said, we're live streaming to YouTube. And I love that we've been able to also reach more folks to be a part of this project. Because honestly, what inspired Love Letters to 2020 was sitting in a room, right, with like 30 teenagers and these modern quarantine times. And on that first day of school to be like, okay, open up your book and let's do work. Or or let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Let's talk about COVID-19. Let's talk about the racism and all the things that have been happening around us. Like, let's have a chance to release, to purge, to get rid of this pain, to acknowledge it, and to release the traumas. So it was really inspired. Love Letters to 2020 was inspired by the teens of Panorama City High School. So big love to Panorama, woohoo! And to our youth, we need to be there for each other, and for all ages, right? Our elders are I felt so sad, in the beginning of this pandemic also, because I felt like it was, this pandemic is such an attack on our elders, on our seniors. Not just health-wise, like that they're vulnerable, but isolating them and keeping them isolated, keeping them away from families, away from being out in society and having their role and being present. I think that's just so devastating and so lonely, so yeah, I just feel so sad for those folks, for the seniors. So also, I want to outreach to them too, and just be allow this workshop to be a way for them to release what they're feeling as well. Alrighty, so yeah, let's get into it. Let's do some writing. And so what I'd like to do is let's see, it's 7:30, 36. Let's take I guess like 15 minutes, 15, maybe, yeah, 15 minutes to get started and write. And then we can come back together and we can share. But it's optional if you want to share today, or not. That's up to you. But that'll be an option for you. And again, I just want to say everything that's written today, the love letters to 2020, whether it be the angry letter, the love letter of embracing the change, or this letter that we're writing today, building for the future. All of those that you write, if you email them to me, I'm going to be making that chapbook, and it'll be included. So you'll be a published author, you'll be a published poet. So let yourself have that opportunity. What a great way to close up the year than to get published, right? And to have a party in your honor. So this is for you, and we're happy to be of service, LA Poet Society. We got your back, and we love you. So let's write our love letter. I'm here, so I'll be checking the chat if you have any questions, if you want to private message me or anything like that. But I think this is a good launch point, you know, looking at our practices, our rituals, and what we're going to take from this year and how we're going to use it to build our future, to build our 2021. And if the whole year, if looking at a whole year is too much for you, then look at the month. How's it going to affect your January 2021? How's it going to start your new year? You know, what are you going to carry into the next year? Let's see. And yeah, and also think about, you know, are you going to continue if things go back to normal, quote unquote? Are you going to stop these rituals? You know, I mean, I think this is something interesting to ponder, because right now, like I said, it's everything. It means so much to us. It's what gets us by. Like, is that something you want to let go of, or do you want to continue to embrace and grow? Alrighty, let's get writing, and then so 15 minutes, and then we'll come back together. But if you have any questions, like I said, just message me in the chat. Okay, it's 7:58. I guess we'll just take it to 8 o'clock. So a couple more minutes. Don't forget to save what you wrote. And I guess let me know if you need more than the 2 minutes. But otherwise, we'll come back together and share. Okay, so some folks need a little more time. So we'll do 5 more minutes. So 8:05, we'll come back. And then if any folks want to share, we can do that. And we'll go from there. I just wanted to check in again. Do y'all need a little more time, or can we come back together?
I'm finished.
Okay. Okay, everybody's, I think someone needed 5 more, is okay. Let's see. Let's do we'll do 5 more minutes. So I guess right now, just if you're done writing, just look it over, reread it to yourself. But we'll come back in a few more minutes. I'm so excited to hear what you all wrote too. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get everybody's work tomorrow. I've been already starting to get a lot of the letters in the poems. So awesome. Can't wait to see it shape up. Okie dokie, let's come back together. Oh, cool. Yay, Marina. Awesome. I'm excited. Marina just sent me her poems. Woohoo. Okay, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing so that I can see your faces again. I'm gonna save the notes here so I can email this to you too, just again as like a point of reference for you, or if you want to share this workshop with other folks and just share, the notes with them. We are on YouTube live streaming again. Hi everyone on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Thanks to Poets and Writers for sponsoring this event and for supporting the Los Angeles Poet Society. So I'm really excited to hear what everyone wrote. Is there anybody that wants to share? Would anybody like to share what they wrote? Oh yeah, my email. I'll put my email here too. So you can send your finished poems, your love letters to Los Angeles Poet Society at gmail.com. I just added it there in the chat. Yay! Cool. All right, Gato. Yeah, she's down. All right, let's hear what you wrote, Gato.
Okay. Hi. You can hear me, right? So I didn't write this right now because I edited it right now, but I wrote it this morning. I can't really write things at night, so I wrote it this morning, and it's also actually my part of my prompt for the day, which is just in case. So I just blended them together because I realized I can't write more than one poem a day. So I'm like, I gotta blend them together, or else I'm just never gonna write these poems. But okay, dear 2020. Just in case you didn't know, you're the year of morgues and graves, of grief and isolation, of empty movie theaters and masked mouths. The year of cop cars on fire and broken windows, of rebellion and Black Lives Matter signs, of taking streets and chanting for liberation. You are the year that broke my heart and birthed it too. I never liked hugs, but now I dream of embraces. I hate people, but I guess I love them too. That's what you showed me, 2020. I wish we could go to a bar, sit in the corner booth, listen to the jukebox and cry. Zoom is a tease. I wish I could smell the musk of your flesh or the shampoo in your hair. Hell, I'd even take your onion and garlic breath. Dear 2020, just in case you didn't know, I don't want things to return to normal. Normal means selling my time for someone else's money, means cops shooting Black and Indigenous folks, means borders and cages, means Social Security numbers and deportation buses. No, pre-pandemic was a crisis too, so I don't blame you for it all, 2020. It took looting and burnt police precincts for people to open their eyes and see the rampant, centuries-old racial inequality, and that's what you did, 2020.
In your bags.
Year 2020, just in case you didn't know, I've been unemployed for 6 months now and writing every day. But the words in my journal don't pay the rent or put food in the fridge. I'm hoping that from your ashes, 2020, a new era will arise where mutual aid isn't a trendy way to say charity, an era where a virus won't further divide us based on privilege, where we will take care of each other because we're all connected. Dear 2020, just in case you didn't know, I hope you're the precipice of radical change. And that's my poem. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
That was perfect. Oh my God, it's like a manifesto, or like I was writing testimony in there, but wow, we all feel you. Like everyone was reacting like, oh, that was solid. That was incredible. You said so much in there, like covering the isolation, to the terror, to the unveiling of that, the white racism of that's just been here the whole time, uncover, that it's in our face. And but also like we all were loving the onion breath and the hugs, and just to smell the humanity of each other again, right? Like I feel happy that we can see each other and that we can react to each other, that I'm not really alone. I see y'all, like, can high five me if I do that. You put your hand up, like react to me. Yeah, woo woo. Like it feels good. Like it's the least there's that, But I was like, wow, Gato, good job. That was incredible. Well said. Any comments for Gato? Anybody want to say anything? Juan's like, that was
There were
awesome.
so many lines in that I was able to connect to. That's what I loved most about it, how it felt so relatable, and especially to everyone around the world. You know, when you say a poem, sometimes it only connects to a certain group of people who experience that situation or someone who has had that feeling before. But this is something that's nationwide. It's something that's around the world. It's something that everyone is experiencing right now. And that's what I find so beautiful about poetry, about you can choose a topic and maybe there'll be a certain group of people who connect to it. But I feel like it's so much more powerful when everyone connect to it. It just you can find some part of it that you can relate to and some sort of inspiration that you can bring into your life. And I thought it was very beautiful. You did a really good job.
Yeah,
Thank
dig.
you.
That's great feedback, Natalia. Oh my gosh. Great. Yeah, the connectivity, definitely. Like we all can relate. Like this is like what I was saying too about the, you know, being a global citizen. Like we feel like our connection really to the world. You know, we really are all experiencing this, the fear, the pandemic, the, you know, our mortality, right? Like everything. And that loneliness too that's come with the isolation and the changes and the frustration. So yeah, definitely the connectivity, that's what makes our poetry like so strong, like that we can see ourselves in what you're saying and we see ourselves in each other. I love it. That was great feedback. Would anybody else like to share? Natalia, would you like to share? Marina, Juan, Scotty?
I'll share next.
Awesome.
So the poem that I wrote is titled "The Sun Went Down, a Broken Vow," and I kind of took the idea of a love letter to 2020 in sort of like a literal way and thinking of it as a vow. And at the beginning of the year, we all had these promises that we made to ourselves that we hope to keep, whether was that to make more money, to lose weight, to connect more, to meet new people. We all had these vows that we promised ourselves. And in 2020, we realized we had to break some of those vows in order to embrace the new reality of our world. And that's what I kind of wanted to write about. And for me, my personal vow was in school, I was just so engulfed in my work. And I decided to, you know, keep getting straight A's and continue doing more extracurricular work and all of that stuff. And I realized that it just ended with me almost burnt out at the end. And I was just so exhausted from all the work that I had put on myself. And I realized that was a vow that I had to break. And so continuously throughout the poem, I decided to use this line, focus must be lost, or focus is lost, in order to kind of illustrate the vow that I kept to myself. So I wanted to give a little bit more background before I decided to jump into the poem. The vow painted murals of heights, drawing an abstraction to the potency of my intentions. Broken back, swinging forward, round back, repeated patterns marrying me around its contract. The ink spilled echoes of dreams to my cortex, fronting drive tight, bolted tight between my eyes. Focus must never be lost. Focus must never be lost. My pen tapped craters of constraint and written structures slipping off the words on my tongue. I must defining my truth, the whole of my scene providing an escape. I clutched the texture of leather wrapped delicately around my seat, cherishing the second of time, swinging my head to turn to face the new becoming written across the mirror, the fingerprints climbing remembrance onto the glass, reflecting the vow of an outlast. The vain red clearing, the pouring of rain, a pair of eyes obliterated from the blueberry skies, a cathedric sip rinsing into the puddles of the muddy lake. My pen lay still on my desk, a sense of silence gaping each crevice and unkept prominence. An unopened fantasy I tore into the brown leather chair. The sun willowing down, distinguishing a scenic shadow masking the overshadow of my face. Focus is lost. Focus is lost. My fingers dropping the must to sink into the blowing wind, brushing softly to the east. Feather light, becoming a revival of a petal flickering into the dawn of night. Shards deepening into the golden speck of dirt. A remark of the final vow.
That was beautiful. I love the language that you use in your poetry. It's pretty exquisite. And just that journey of what you're saying about, you know, wanting to be more and do more, but the pain, right? The pain that came along with that, being that person that kind of what Marina was saying, like over scheduling and just having like so much compacted into your 24 hours, every 24-hour rotation. It's just, there's that little incy wincy bit for you, for the real, the inner you, right? The inner self that needs that nurturing. And I like how you set it up with the vows. And you're right, like, you know, like every year we're like, oh, what are your resolutions? You know, what are you planning? What, I mean, everything happens so quickly. You know, coming out of holiday season, everyone's having fun, we're partying, and, you know, New Year's, we're partying, and then we're like, okay, what are we gonna focus on? You know, let's go full speed ahead. And then we're just like, roadblock. And you know, we're always trying to find a solution. You know, we're always trying to find a way around to get to our goal, our vow, right? To keep our vows to ourselves, or the promises that we keep, you know, what we're used to. And I think like that realization that, you know, I gotta let that go in order to heal and to be happy, to be able to survive this year, for what to be that version of yourself for you know, to get through 2020, to shed that skin and be, you know, to allow yourself to change. You know, that takes a lot of awareness, self-awareness, and courage. That's what I feel. I think that was great how you captured it. Any comments from Natalia? Anyone want to say anything? I thought it was pretty exquisite. I like your way of writing, the way you express yourself. It was really beautiful. Cool. Okay. Would anyone else like to share their poem? Juan? All right.
Yeah. Yes. If I may. It's rather short. Oh no. Oh, I have it on the other screen, so I'm just gonna read it. It's called Another Pair of Eyes Not Losing Themselves to the Tangerine Sky. I sacrifice my senses in the dim altar of twilight, praying spirits gem the celestial jewel in peace, watching the ball of fire sink in the ocean to wonder how small we are. I savor the silver lining falling from beyond in honor of the dead of 2020. That was it. Thank you. I mean, it's short, but you know, I guess I feel for the people that are, you know, dying, and I'm like paranoid about it, because I have to make sure that my babies are okay, and I think my paranoia has kept me safe and alive, and that's still not easy to, you know, cope with. It's a lot of pressure to have in your shoulders, and I'm okay with it. That's why I drink sometimes at night, and also, you know, and the depression of the people dying. You know, I obviously don't want 30,000 people to be gone in a month like they did in November, but they did. You know, and it's so scary. So yeah, you know, like I drink in the honor of all those souls.
Thank you. Yeah. No, we were all feeling it. I mean, that's the reality of what we're in, and that's a part of it, you know. I think it's honorable and beautiful to write your letter in honor of those that have passed away, that have died from this pandemic. That is real. I mean, that's why we're all isolated, right? We're trying to help save our life. Let's have a moment for them. I mean, and it is frightening. I mean, I know, well, all of our lives have been affected. I mean, we know folks have had it, right? We all know folks have had it or have it, and we know some folks that have survived it. Like, I feel pretty fortunate that, I mean, I feel I do know some folks that got COVID and they recovered. So I'm really happy that they did. I know Juan, one of his friends lost their mom. Actually, wait, one of my friends did lose her dad too. Yeah. So I mean, it's painful. It's really painful. that common thread of our humanity, our mortality, you know. So thank you, Juan, for sharing that. I know that's like that's real, that's all real, and that's going to be in the Love Letters chapbook, because we've gone through so many phases of grief, the stages of grief, right? Like the acceptance, the denial, the anger. This workshop is an outlet, and it's designed to be that the positive, that to help you stay strong, to help you see those things that are working for you this year, to help you, show you the light that has been in your life this year, like even if it's a moment or the ritual, no matter how big or small, how much time it takes in the day, if it's just brushing your teeth and putting some fresh pants on, fresh jammy pants on, washing your laundry the day for that day, whatever it is, like it's helping us survive. It's helping us move forward. And it's important. It's really important to recognize those things. All right. Would anyone else like to share? I'm also sad, but I and I know that the fear is real. I mean, I know it is.
I would like to share.
Yes, please share.
Okay. This is a love poem. Dear 2020, thank you for bringing me inside. Thank you for giving me a room alone. Thank you for giving me new communities. Thank you for giving me a new therapist who listens. Thank you for podcasting equipment and laptop. Thank you for spin-offs, new shows, and ideas. Thank you for the wonderful growth and expansion. I love you, 2020. Dear 2020, you opened my mind, peeling me open layer after layer, medicinal cleansing, vulnerability, facing fears, leaving unsafe places, outgrowing unhealthy relationships, changing of friendships to new seasons, doors closing to other opportunities opening, letting the seasons change, grateful for the letting go. Dear 2020, you opened my creativity, growing curiosities like sunflowers out of season, everywhere, abundant, sunshine, warmth. Keep growing, fragrant imagination, podcasts giving birth to new series, new ideas, new forms, setting out to challenge stereotypes. Through listening, began to challenge my own, expressing social justice transformation, imagining a new existence, listening, opening, engaging, creating. Dear 2020, you opened my heart, redefining the ways I talk with myself, sharing the kindness with Scott, the kindness and giving spirit so much shared, understanding truly I deserve that same love, being kind when I fall short or lose my patience, being kind to myself first. In isolation, it was me, alone, virtually, literally isolated. I needed to be kind to me first, open my heart, love myself completely, even the dark and unlovable parts, those deep places, love them as they are, love Scott with pure joy of his grand sensitivity. Dear 2020, you opened my hope, teaching the power of perspective. First world problems are not heavy, and I can willingly set them down, imagining a new way of understanding. Colonial imperialism is not a blessing. It is heavy. It's okay to talk about how it impacts me. It is blessed to be vulnerable. Hope is letting the tears flow, knowing that the water is how everything grows. Thank you, 2020, for opening me. Thank you for opening imagination. Thank you for opening creativity, giving hope once again, reminding us the power in vulnerability. Grateful, but so many are upset with you. However, I love the adversity. I adore it, every part. Thank you, 2020. I love you.
Oh my God, that's so amazing and so uplifting. Even what everybody's going through, like it's still like we're happy. We're so happy. That's such a oh my God, made me want to cry, honestly. I love how you said, through the tears and that's like water is like how everything grows. Like, oh my God, you're right. That makes perfect sense, letting go of those tears, when you release that, you're allowing yourself that opportunity to grow from whatever it is you're going through.
Yeah. Well, the last holidays I was by myself outside. So this was the first time that I was like inside. I was homeless. And so like it was weird, like this storm, like I was actually in a bed by myself alone, and it was because of the pandemic and, me being honest about my mental health and, saying, yeah, hey, I am really struggling and I do need help and this isn't working out. And, just really acknowledging that like vulnerability happens and like nobody's life is perfect and we all have struggles. And the more that I've leaned into it, and I said in the choir today, I feel really witnessed, because it's like all these people that weren't able to express their vulnerability are kind of forced to now, and I feel really witnessed as someone, who's queer and grew up in Oregon, in this very like anti, queer Christian environment, and just like realizing that like, oh my gosh, yeah, so many people have been struggling all along and we just couldn't talk about it because, that's also very, white supremacist narrative. Like we're all supposed to just pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and, not struggle and just suck it up and, get multiple jobs and just survive and just make it happen and work ourselves into the grave to,
Right.
make it, contribute. And it's like, wait a minute, no, it's killing me. I can't do it anymore. It's too much. Like, and just acknowledge it. I wrote that in Echo Park today, like super like, why can't I get angry with 2020? What is wrong? And I was just like, oh, because I'm not mad. Like there's so much more. Yeah, there's shitty things that happen, but shitty things have been happening to me for like 8 years in a row, like just over and over and over again. So I was like, oh, of course there would be a fucking pandemic. Like right in the middle of all this other bullshit of the other 8 years, like, of course. And then I would be stuck by my fucking self all the fucking time when my big, mental health thing is like loneliness and feeling isolated and all of that. And it's like, okay, great. And now everybody else is feeling it. And so now everybody else is feeling how I'm, it's just like, it's a lot as an empath to be like, great, now we're all like talking about how I fucking felt this whole time. It doesn't feel good, does it? Anyway, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's like what flipped for a lot of folks. It's like, well, that's what I've been struggling. That's how my life has been this whole time. And now you see the importance of caring for your brothers and sisters who have mental illness or who don't want to fit in that 9-to-5 grind, who don't, that want to be true to their own spirit. Like I'm totally, oh my God, Scotty, I love that you said that. Like I'm so with you. I don't want to get too deep in it, but just my own family, my blood relatives, like blood people, like have treated me like such crap when I'm in need and like in this time, and like people who are not my relatives embrace me like family. You know what I mean? Like, and they're telling me like, oh, you were this and that. You shouldn't be asking me for anything. Like, why? Like what you're saying, like pull yourself up, have 800 jobs and be this and that. And, that's what we do. It's like, why? Like I'm with Caro. Like I'm glad this change is happening as far as the system, right? We need this change. Like it is unhealthy to be like that work hard, play hard bull. Like, I mean, that's what makes folks feel better to say it like that. But you're just every day you're alive, you're living for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like you're not being your true self, right? And that's what the beauty of this year, it's forced us to look inward, not just so much being alone behind a closed door, but what is Scott about? What's Jessica about? What's Marina about? What's Gato about, right? What is it that makes us feel happy, joy, alive? What's our passion? What's, if I want to sit in my room and read for like 2 days, 3 days, like finally I can do it, like dang. I mean, yeah, like that, this whole model that Yeah, I could go on and on about that. But yeah, honestly, I heard just like the nastiest thing from a distant cousin that just totally attacked me about, don't ever ask me for anything and blah, blah, blah. You're a smart girl. You should be doing crap yourself. And I'm like, I moved. Isn't a housewarming party normal? Like, she's mad I shared a registry list. Like, ugh. But all my family, the blood relatives, are all like saying nasty things because I shared that. Anyway, that's another story we can talk about later.
That's just
hateful.
They're just jealous because you're having a housewarming party and you have people that might want to buy things for you. And you naturally shared it with your family members because you thought they'd be excited because, yes, that is super effing normal to do that
Right?
part in the recording, and there might be youth involved. But yes, of course, I did one at 15. I'm going to move out at 18 years old. You need to know you're buying me a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or whatever. Here's my little handwritten registry. It was like the 80s. And I was like, and they were like, what? And I was like, no, this is the colors my apartment's going to be. And you're going to take me seriously. And this is what I want it to look like. Please abide by these things if you're going to spend any money.
Right.
I think that's totally normal.
Yeah.
Especially because this is a big deal. You move from like a studio into like, right, 2-bedroom or something. Like,
Thank
you
you.
moved into
Yes,
a home.
Patty,
It's
I
a
love you.
housewarming, right? It's a house. People are weird. Anyway, it's totally normal. I don't have money, but when I get the stimulus, send me the registry. You got my email.
Oh my God.
I'll help you with something.
It's all good. Honestly,
I'm
that's
completely serious.
That's what she told me. She's like, oh, you're getting a $600. Why don't you stimulus? Why don't you use that for your problems? It's like, wow, you are
a housewarming is not a problem, sweetheart.
Not gonna talk to you again. Like, ugh, toxic folks, right? That's another thing. We got to weed out all the toxic people from our lives, and you get to see who's really there for you, you know. And anyway, yeah. Thanks. I appreciate. Oh, you totally get it. Like, I didn't have to like share, like really shape the story. Like, you get it. Like, oh my God, it's not. I'm like, it's normal. Anyway, yes. Thank you. Love. Anybody else want to share their poems?
So I'll share my poem.
Yay.
Let me pick up my headphones. So my poem has to do with embrace the change. So I've pretty much been homebound, and this is my life. So I've learned to embrace the change. It's very basic. So let me bring it up. So I'm calling it Love is Alive Through the Pandemic. Last night, I fell in love with the enchilada man. The What's for Dinner dance became a duo. The Judds are right. Love is alive at my kitchen table every COVID day of the week. He shred the chicken while I prepared the peppers for the sauce. His welding hands dipped tortillas in deep, deep oil. With nowhere to go and no knocking on my door, we've learned how to enjoy our home. We've learned how to make time. My muffin man is short and cute. I sing and he pours the batter in the tin. The apron's too long, but the stool step is just right. My banana bread man is lanky and smart. The high school is closed and his band can't meet. So he hums and mixes. My quesadilla man is proud and a bit round. My most macho man of all. He teases and flips, laughs and flips. A wacky rush I've left behind. Time to savor, time to love, time to be.
I love it. It's a love letter to all this wonderful food, man. Your passion, all this cooking, and oh my gosh, I love it. It's the therapy. It's your therapy, and it's so colorful. You know, like when you said savoring, like savoring the experience and then the variety, and then physically, you know, the enchilada man. You had us at enchilada man. We're like, oh. Where is it, Marina? Where is the food? Oh, I miss it. I've been doing keto, so I don't really get the tortillas very much. So I'm like, give me that food. No, I love where you took it. I love that. I mean, that's what you're embracing. You know, that's what's helped you. That's been your therapist, the cooking. Oh yeah, I could feel the passion and the variety, the different types of foods and the different characters that came out. That was really great and very enjoyable to hear. Y'all have comments for Marina? Other than hungry, like I'm like gonna see if I have some enchilada sauce and put it on my hand or something right now.
I can make enchiladas with wheat tortillas. I can make it. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, that's conversation for somewhere else.
That's okay. I did open it up. Oh, he's crying. Imogen, that's funny. Cool. Good. Let's see. I feel like y'all wrote like phenomenal pieces, and I might have not took enough time on mine. But I'll read mine. Imogen, do you also want to share yours?
Yeah, I like to share mine as well.
Okay,
But
I'll have you go next. I'll close it up.
Well, I have to ask you to turn off the recording again.
Oh, right.
So I don't know if you want to go first and then I'll go last, and you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, so I'll go and then I'll end the YouTube stream because it's also going on YouTube. So yeah, that works. Okay. Yay. Like what Juan wrote. The chat, you see this? He's like, now I gotta continue for Jessica this video. All right. So my poem. Did I get to read the last one I wrote? I was really happy with the last one. I don't remember if I read it or not though. All right, well, here's one I wrote right now. Dear 2020, thank you for sharing your light with me. You've made me feel helpless, crushing down my movement like a shadow pinned to the floor. And in these times, I reached out to the others to carry my weight, to hold and nurture my children, to love me, though I didn't want to wake up again. I feel like I have been reborn in another version of myself that was ready the whole time, sitting there, reflecting on how I would pause the life I was leading so it could have the chance to take over. It was a better self that appeared in the mirror, a healthier silhouette, a heart of 40 years that wanted to grow another 40 or 60, a mother that wanted to come to surface and share more smiles, learn new languages, envelop nature at the center of her blue water. Once I let myself be held in the hands of community, I was able to at last be free, stepping back to see all that I already was and just let it take over. Thank you, 2020, for giving eyes to the vision. Thank you, 2020, for freeing me into myself. I am blessed to survive and know so many survivors. I am blessed to see the survivors in front of me, sharing actions that are meaningful, visibly laughing, cognitive, visibly joyful, visibly raw, enraged, passionate, and engaged in my living. I will continue my rituals with you into the future because these rituals remind me who I am, who I have always been, and I don't ever again want to forget me. Thanks. Grazie. Thank you all. Thank you. Yeah, any comments? Juan, you have a comment? I know I see it in his mouth. He's like, what?
No, yeah, that was a beautiful punchline at the end. I mean, that was wow, that you know summed up everything you said in a line, and it was beautiful. It was like it's like a delicious cherry, you know, on top of a carrot cake.
Papa,
yeah, thank you, Juan. Yeah, thank you, Caro. Thank you for that. Yeah, it totally was a rebirth. Once I let y'all take over, like, yeah, you held me up. Creative community, poets, artists, friends, internet friends, however you want to talk about it. You know, you all held me. I love you. I'm grateful. I'm not, yeah, oh, okay. All right. Thank you, poets and writers, again. We're gonna stop the YouTube stream, but everyone write, and email us the poems at losangelespoetsociety@gmail.com.